Alright, so you've decided you want an AR-15. One of your next biggest choices is, do I want an A2 style, like this one, with fixed iron sights, or do I want an A4 style? Or, yeah, I guess you could call it A4 flat top style. One of the biggest disadvantages about the A4, this one doesn't have it. This one actually has a pinned-in gas block. A lot of them will just be clamped on or have a set screw in it. They're really easy to jostle them off to one side, and then your firearm will no longer function. This one's pinned in. They took an A2 sight and just chopped the top of it off. So that's a pretty big plus. When you do look for your ARs, I'd strongly recommend finding one with a pinned-in front gas block, because I, myself, have actually had the gas block shift, and then my firearm don't want to run. Whatever one you decide, if you go with the A2 or the A4, they are both very fine firearms. What I would not do is get an A4 and put a carrying handle on it. The hole for your hand to go in there is kind of small. It's smaller than this one because they got to have room to have your clamp screws. And then if you have a front gas block that's not pinned on and it's just clamped on, and then you throw another sight on top of that, that gives you a whole bunch of leverage to shift it. If you go with an A4, I would dedicate to running some sort of glass, whether it be, you know, a magnified optic, red dot, what have you. With the A2, they do offer an adapter to go on top so you can mount a scope on top of this. I'm strongly recommending you do not do that. I actually made that mistake with my first AR-10 A2. Once you put the scope up there, to look through it clearly, you gotta have your head, you gotta have your eye leveled to about here. So basically, you're using this kind of cheek weld, which isn't a cheek weld at all. It's more like a bottom of the chin weld. And if you know anything about parallax, the slightest movement with your head back here can equate to feet, even at 100 yards. Yes, you can get scopes where you can dial out the parallax, but usually people don't do that with an AR style rifle. This is more of like a pop, 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 pop. I definitely would not buy an A2 if you plan on running some sort of glass. The cheek weld's just way off. These particular models are Bushmaster, so things may vary between, you know, brands. These two, they do have a different barrel. This is more of like a pencil barrel, slightly skinnier. This is your M4 style barrel. Both these do have bayonet lugs on them, but because this is the carbine length gas system with a 16-inch barrel, if you put a bayonet on here, it wouldn't work because the ring for the bayonet would be way back here. Typically with the carbine length, if you want to run a bayonet, you got to have like a, I think it's an 11-inch barrel or 10.5 or something like that, and then it would fit on there right. And if you're really set on running a bayonet on an AR, and you don't want to get your tax stamp for an SBR, what you're going to want to do is get a mid-length gas system with your 16-inch barrel, then you'll be able to click your bayonet on. This one also has a bayonet lug, same exact problem. So both these rifles might as well not even have a bayonet lug. Both of them have the exact same internals. Really your biggest difference between these is your upper receiver, your gas block, and with this manufacturer, the barrel. Sometimes, you know, the barrel's the same between them. With manufacturers, this manufacturer isn't. Both these rifles will be extremely accurate. You throw a free floating handguard on here, it would be nothing to hit 1 1/4 MOA, which is pretty respectable. This is also very accurate. Even without a free floating handguard, I don't actually know the number, but I'm going to guess somewhere around like 1.5 MOA. I'm a personal fan of the iron sights, especially the AR ones, because they got the range back here. So if you know the range, you can just dial it in. Then there's no reason for holdover. You just aim directly at your target. But it's definitely a decision you're going to want to make. Your decision between the flat top or the A2 basically comes down to, am I going to run some sort of glass? If not, and you want to run iron sights, I would definitely go with the A2. It's much harder to knock off an iron sight that's actually part of the upper. Like, you can really bang on that and nothing's going to happen. Same with the front sight. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I'll have some more videos out to you soon.